Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my page, trying to reach 1,000 followers. And with your help, I will get there. And today we have Vinny with me.
Hi, everybody.
We have Vinny because he's the mastermind of the numbers, and we're gonna go through how much you're gonna need to move to Florida, how much we spent. Now we're just a family. We were a family of 4. We had a baby kitten who recently passed away. He had some complications due to medical issues. He was only about 5 months old. It's very hard on us, especially Serenity, because it was her first pet and he was just a baby and we loved him so much. So this money is going against a family of 4. When we did move, we had a cat with us, a baby kitten in our car. We have our 8-year-old daughter and us 2. So that's what we were traveling with, and that's what our numbers are going off of. So not everybody's the same. This is just our opinions and what we paid for and how we did it. Mm-hmm. So the first thing we did, was it a year that we found out that we were going to move? Like, when did we,
I think it was in December after we came here on a vacation, and it didn't really go as planned. So we had spent all this time, putting together, money and trying to work on the road doing my shows to make money to do this vacation. And when it didn't turn out the way we wanted, we went home and we were so unhappy. So we were well, maybe we could just move there. I mean, the amount we spent on vacations in the last few years,
it was a lot of money.
It was a lot more than even we spent to come here.
Exactly. We spent $1,500 on our last vacation here.
It was $15,000.
Yeah, $15,000. Yeah. It was a lot of money. We stayed at a Disney resort, everything inclusive, food and all, before the coronavirus came, you guys. So we were we just want to move down there. First, we were both at 80%. We were we don't know. We were watching a lot of videos. We watch a lot of Tim Tracker, Prince Charming Dev.
People who live here already.
Yeah, the geekdom, anybody that they do videos in Florida, we watched them all, and we try to figure out where we wanted to live, how much it would cost, but everybody's different. So once we actually figured out we did want to move to Florida, we started looking for houses. We already know we wanted a house with at least 3 or 4 bedrooms. It had to have 2 bathrooms, and it had to have a pool, because Serenity wanted a pool really bad. I wanted a pool really bad. And I'm it's Florida. Why wouldn't you have a pool? It's freaking 100 degrees outside. And believe it or not, there's a lot of people who don't have pools in Florida. They just don't care for them. So we ended up finding the house we want. Vinny found a realtor who helped us out and got us into a program, because the house we are in now is has an option to buy it if we would like. So I do have the numbers written down.
Yeah, I mean, basically it costed us in total close to $8,000. It was about $7,700, and the reason it cost that much is we weren't from here. We lived 1,200 miles away, so as a comedian, I travel a lot, and we had come down here for vacations and for shows, and we found that I had a strong business prospect here that was stronger than anywhere in the country. So we decided to come here one time beforehand when we got the house. The company that I'm working with actually made it possible for us to have the money to get the house. The cost of the house just to move in was about $5,000 for the home itself, just, cost-wise on that.
Yeah, that was application fees, pet fees, deposit,
pool
fee, first month's and last month's rent. And mind you, once we found the house we wanted, it moved very quickly.
Yeah, so you're gonna need about $10,000, because then we had to pay another month's rent before we knew it.
Yeah.
Now, we ended up getting a place with 4 bedrooms because we're using one of them as a recording studio and office for me to work in all week long, which does save us money on getting an actual office somewhere else, and money we save like on gas. So we thought about all that stuff, but it was about $600 in gas because it was 2 different trips to come down here and get the house. And when we did come down here, the house wasn't really ready. It's by a big company that, you know, has thousands of houses throughout the state of Florida, so they didn't complete everything they needed to do. But by the time we got there, it was in real bad shape. So we had to do a lot of stuff to get the house ready, and that included just being here for a while during the hours that the maintenance people had to come and fix what they needed to.
Yeah, like I said before, like once we found the house with the company we wanted, we had to sign the application. Once we got approved for the application, we only had, what was it, 3 or 4 days? What was it, a week? We had to pay a deposit, and then we had a week, or was it 2 weeks, to pay the first.
It was a week.
It was a week to pay the first month's rent, and we had to, like, they weren't waiting. They were like, if you get it now, you have to get it now. Like, our original move-in date was supposed to be July, but we ended up moving in June, so a whole month in advance. And we had to come here to sign the paperwork and everything. We weren't ready to move down at all.
No, and we also had rent that we still had to pay in Connecticut. But so aside from all that, we did spend about $90 in tolls and $300 in food, and that was on the way there and back, and the way there and back, and also our cat's food at the time before Mickey passed away, which is very sad. We also spent $390 in motels, which we saved a lot of money in because we didn't stay in very nice hotels. We stayed in a lot of like Super 8s and like Motel 6s, but we always made sure they were clean. It was just that we were trying to just sleep for like 6 or 7 hours so we can get back on the road.
Plus we had Mickey, so hotels really don't take in pets, so we were kind of like
to get like a
sneaking
place
him
where
in.
we could just go right into the room and not have to walk through like the lobby or anything like that. And besides that, that's our moving costs. We actually were renting a pod that was going to cost us about $2,000 to get our stuff down here, but we found a guy through a Facebook group called Honda Hoarders that I'm friends with, the guy who runs the group, and they buy and sell a lot of quads and dirt bikes and move, and they happen to go every week and deliver from Florida right around where we live to Connecticut, so we got kind of lucky. And they had like an 18-foot trailer, and they came in and helped us move all our stuff. And the move was really tough.
Oh, the move was horrible. It's not... Tough is an understatement, because we left here at the end of June in Florida, and we had to travel back. And I wanted to avoid the tolls, but we couldn't really do that because we didn't have time to like get there. If I avoid the tolls, it takes me an extra day to get home.
Yeah, which doesn't make any sense to me.
So... it does. I like to drive, so it's fine to me. But we had to get there as soon as possible. I got there on we left on a Monday. We got home to Connecticut on a Tuesday. We had to have everything in our house packed by Friday because the guy was coming Friday at 12. So we only had a few boxes packed. We were not prepared at all.
And you know what? A lot of people that do these videos too, they always like try to make it seem like it's super easy. Not easy in a sense, but like when they tell you the numbers on what it takes to move to Florida, they always go off like, I don't know, like the bare minimum. I don't know if it's because they want to make it seem like it's achievable to do it, but I think they're setting people up like for failure, because you really need to have a lot of money to do this.
Yeah, like when I wanted to move, I wanted at least $10,000 to move.
Yeah, and it just didn't happen.
It didn't happen like that, but it worked out.
Yeah, I mean, the more you plan it, and you just end up wasting money, because we got done what we needed to get done, and we got here. You know?
Yeah, we got here, but the move was bad. We got there on a Tuesday, had to have everything packed by Friday. Mind you, we had to see family, say goodbye, and do all this extra stuff. We didn't have any time to do that. And then I had to leave on Friday after bringing everything into this truck by ourselves.
Yeah, we were also quarantined the first time we came down.
Yeah, we were quarantined for 14 days when we came down the first time. So when we went back to Connecticut and we packed and everything, I had to drive back, and I had to be here by Sunday noon. So it was very stressful because the guy was like, we're bringing your stuff, you need to be there.
Yeah, and we did, because they helped us get it off, and it ended up working out really good as far as there were a few things that did go our way, but if it wasn't for my business partners and the opportunities that we have here, I don't even know that we would be here right now.
No,
you know?
I don't think so. But
Maybe we would. It maybe just would have took a little bit more time. But I think that now is the right time for us to come, especially since entertainment could be on the rise again soon.
Yeah, like down here with the pandemic, when we first came here, yeah, we had a quarantine for 14 days, but people down here weren't taking it as seriously. And when we came back the second time around, we just told them we were already here for 14 days and we showed them that we had like proof from the hotel when we first came down in June. So they let us just go by and they're like, all right, you did it already.
Yeah, plus the checkpoints when you come into Florida for the quarantine, not that it isn't a good thing that they're doing, but they have police presence on the site, but a lot of the people just look like volunteers or paid workers, and they didn't really even look into it too much. We were in Florida already and did quarantine, but we just flashed a receipt and didn't even take a look at it. You let us go. So, I mean, if I had any, like, and people think the quarantine is like some sort of forceful order. When you come down, you do have to quarantine yourself for 14 days, but if you're only here to visit family for a few days and then go home, then, you could do that. You don't have to stay the full 14 days. You just have to quarantine yourself. But if you're coming on vacation from the Northeast where we were coming from, you have to quarantine yourself 14 days before you can start doing stuff like going to the parks and stuff like that.
Because they do, when they stop you, all they do, they don't take your temperature or anything. They want your license number and they take down your license plate number. So they put that into the system for their police system. So let's say if I was driving before my 14 days and a cop was behind me and was like, oh, let me check her plates, he'll know that I wasn't here for the full 14 days. And then there's like a $500 fee.
You could do 60 days in jail.
Yeah, it's like counted as a misdemeanor. So it is kind of serious, but you just gotta, they want you to be safe as possible, and they want to keep their people here safe. So we did do all the precautions. We don't go out that much. Like, you'll see me doing my videos of going places, but we do wear our mask. We do follow the procedures for the pandemic. We try to stay away and social distance.
And there are a lot of people out in Orlando right now, and there are a lot of people not doing that, and I think there are a lot of people that even a lot of the business owners and stuff, I just feel like they're putting on such a front for the rest of the world. Like, everything down here is, they have their precautions, but nobody's really taking them very seriously. I mean, there are even still times that, like, I see people without masks at all, except when you're at Disney and Universal, but there's just so many people there, it's impossible to keep from social distancing. Like, everybody's around each other. And it's very crowded. Even at Disney Springs right now, it's very crowded.
Yeah.
Especially when people are going for reservations at restaurants and they're sitting in those tight spaces waiting to get checked into their seating. They don't have, like, any kind of lines outside at some of these places. They're just, like, letting people walk in and sit and wait. And people are just sitting there next to you, not moving. And so there are a lot of people out doing that kind of stuff. And I don't know if the numbers are going to keep spiking around here.
I don't know. They say the numbers are spiking, but honestly, people in Florida just don't give up at all. They just don't care. They just don't care. But
and there are a lot of people coming here on vacation, so it isn't just Florida people.
People are still coming on vacation. We've met a lot of vacationers since being here at your shows. Like, you have vacationers.
And I did have some shows. We did 4 shows already since being here, live comedy events that I was lucky enough to find a big venue that we were able to see just a small amount of people in, but everybody that came were on vacation pretty much. They were just people walking by and looking for something to do, so there's definitely a lot of people breaking quarantine too, because nobody goes on vacation for 4 weeks, so these people that are coming in from out of town aren't quarantining. I know they're not from New York, but they're coming right in and going to do whatever, so even though they're not quarantining because they're not coming from New York, they could be coming from Chicago, but they bumped into somebody that was in New York and now they're bringing it there. So they don't, they think it's just because you're from New York because that was the worst place it was, but really it's everywhere right now. So
yeah, it's spiking up everywhere, but they're limiting people from like Connecticut, New York, New Jersey. Like, if you're coming from those places, they're like, you have to be on a quarantine. But if you're coming from like South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia,
I feel like it should be the same kind of quarantine though for every state. And Florida was the only state that was taking anything serious, having a stop at the border.
Yeah, that's the only place we did stop at the border was Florida.
Yeah.
Like, and once we got like into Georgia, though, Georgia doesn't
parks
care.
are open. You know, all the theme parks are open. All the bars are just transforming into restaurants. They're still open. Everything is just. It's like once they set regulations, people always find loopholes. You know, so that's what they're all doing right now is trying to find loopholes to keep their businesses going and keep everything open. The one thing I did see is that City Walk closed all the nightclubs, so at least they're trying a Universal to. Like, just keep that kind of stuff closed, you know?
But City Walk is mainly, like, nightlife, though.
Yeah, but what I'm saying
adults.
is, even the place I was doing my shows at, even other places that are doing that, like, they are nightlife. This is it's not right now, you're not seeing it, but when it is vacation time and all the tourists around, everywhere's busy.
And if you guys don't know what we're talking about, Florida did put a stop to all bars. Like, all bars are supposed to be closed down unless the bar is serving food and you're sitting down to eat.
Actually,
you can drink.
They have to have more than 50% of their revenue come from food or just non-alcohol related sales. So
it can't be like a regular bar cannot be open right now.
And actually they are, 'cause some of them, what I'm saying is they're like finding loopholes and converting to saying they're restaurants.
Yeah, like in Disney Springs though, they have like these little stations in the middle, like markets, where they're selling booze, but they're getting away with it because they're saying how it's on the walk. It's not really a bar. You grab it and you go.
Yeah, but even that they're not supposed to do because that allows people to take their masks off. So
yeah, there's people walking around without no mask and all this. So,
but I think people are trying to get away with as much as they can. Even Disney.
Yeah, people are trying to make money down here. Like that's their big revenue. But we're not saying not to move down here. We never want to tell you not to move down here. We moved down here during the pandemic. It is a little bit hard, but not as hard as people was making it to seem.
Yeah, I think more just annoying than hard. You know,
it's very annoying, honestly.
But once you're here, you see a difference from the kind of quarantining in the Northeast we had to do, which was absolutely horrible for like 4 months. So
yeah, in Connecticut, we were quarantined for about 4 to 5 months.
Yeah, it was bad.
We didn't leave the house. We really couldn't leave the house. Everything was practically closed where we came from, so it's not like it's down here.
It was all like, even to get food in Connecticut, you'd have to like order something and go sit outside till they brought it to your window. At least here, they let you walk in the place. They're just not letting people eat inside. Like,
well, no, they're letting people eat inside, but they're separating the tables.
Some places, I'm speaking vaguely, you know, but like a few places, they did. Today we went to a place that didn't want us eating inside. Oh yeah, those are like the courts, the food courts. Yeah.
You can't eat inside the food courts, but if it's like a restaurant, they're separating their tables and stuff for people to dine in. Because that's how they make their money, and that's how the workers are going to get back, and you know, unemployment rates go down and everything.
But if anybody does know anybody moving to Florida, I'd love to recommend the people who did move us. You could just comment below and we'll contact you with them if you need a cheap move. They're always looking for people to... Yeah,
our movers were really great. You said it was like $13. We paid them a tip, so it was $1,300.
With a tip included.
With tip included.
We gave them a bunch of stuff from our
house.
Yeah,
we gave him a bunch of stuff that we weren't taking from our house.
He was like a young kid too, so he's good.
He was very appreciative. Very responsible, nice. He was traveling with his girlfriend, very great couple. But yeah, altogether we spent about $7,700 to make this move down to Florida. So, and that was just for the 4 of us.
Plus the first month's rent came out of our...
Yeah, and then we had to pay the 4. So add another what?
It was $10,000.
It's $10,000 the total move.
So when you said you wanted $10,000 to move here, we did do that. It was just it went quicker than you thought it would.
Like I wanted to save $10,000 and then have like just put it. And Vinny was like, "No, we got the money for this now. We're gonna pay this. Then we get the money for this, and then we went."
Yeah, because people like just prolong that way. They always think they have to have this amazing plan, and it's just like if you want to do something, just do it. You know?
And I sold a lot of stuff too.
But you know what? She'd rather be here than have $10,000 and be where we were.
Yeah, like if you guys saw my first video starting the move to Florida, we came from New Britain, Connecticut, where we were living on the 3rd floor in an attic, and honestly, what we were
It's
paying
not an
there.
attic. It was the third floor, but
It was like an attic. The lady converted her attic into like an apartment, and like what we were paying down
the school
there,
systems were really
it's
bad.
the same thing we're paying down here for a freaking house.
Yeah, it was almost the same. We was probably paying about $400 or $500 more a month in total bills, but the quality of life is much better.
It's definitely much better. We've
lived through some bad storms already. Not any hurricanes, but some.
Yeah, they haven't been any. It's hurricane season, and we haven't really gone through any. There's been a lot of like thunder and lightning that is very close to our house.
And it rains every day, but it's not cold anymore.
It's not cold rain. The rain does smell like pond water.
To the heat.
I'm used to the heat. Look at me. I'm in a sweater. It's freaking 70 degrees in my house, and I'm in a freaking sweater. It was 99 degrees out today, and it felt amazing. I was in jeans and like a little over thing, shirt thing, whatever you want to call it. But if you guys are really ready, do your research. We did so much. Like, I was researching this I was researching schools, I was researching houses, areas, crime rates. I was like on the crime rate groups and everything.
And I think it is going to be different for everybody. So there are people that could probably move here with less. There probably some people would take a lot more money. There is no correct answer. Everything is different. It depends on you and your family situation and all that. And you just have to prepare, whatever your situation is. If you pay $1,000 or $2,000 for your house, just prepare and always make sure that you have a backup plan, because sometimes things don't go as planned.
Yeah. Always make sure you have spare cash just in case something happens.
Not even that, just multiple sources of income too. People always say, come down here and get a job, or people don't want to come here because they say the job markets aren't good. Well, if you have more than one source of income and you can find different ways to kind of your hustle, like whatever you do, it doesn't matter, whatever you do, find different ways to make money, and you won't ever have to really stress too much, except depending on what you do. Some people have a more stable income than we do, but we have more than one source of income. So, and we run our own business, so that helps.
Yeah, and a lot of people, when they say there's no jobs on here, don't listen to them. Like, seriously, don't listen to them, because
there are jobs.
There's
everywhere.
A lot of jobs here. You just have to look for them and put the effort to actually go and do it and find your job.
And you can have a job and a side hustle too. You could have like more than one thing. You could work a regular job and do something else to make money. You just have to put the effort in.
Yeah,
and if you work harder,
hard.
if you work harder, you're gonna have a better life.
And if you are going into job interviews and they tell you that, like, let's say, we want to give you $10 an hour, and you always got to be aggressive and be like, no, I think I deserve $12. Like, you need to always say all those things.
Yeah, and if you don't, then don't expect to get what you don't ask for. Also, if you're going into a job that is $10 an hour, and you're offended when they say that to you, then you're probably looking for the wrong type of job. Maybe you're somebody that's motivated depending on how much money they make, and you need some kind of, sales commission job. This is a tourist area in a state that's filled with things that people can sell, and so there's all kinds of real estate, cars, phones. You could get into something. If you learn how to sell, you could sell anything, so that's my advice, because people always say, well, you don't make enough money. Well, you're picking a job that has a set rate, so you're never going to go up unless they give you a raise, which usually takes a year or two. Get a job that you can set your own income, and the harder you work, the more you make. Or wait until you go to school to get a good enough job. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, if you have to have a 3 or 5 year plan, set it. It doesn't have to happen in a few months, because this is something that we've been wanting to do for a long time, probably 4 years, 5 years almost. When we first met, we came to Disney World, and it was a horrible experience. Every time we came here on vacation, something went wrong. We always tried to overplan. Things didn't go right. Family bothered us. We didn't have enough money. We came down here for work, and then we're doing my comedy shows and not enough vacation and family time. So if this is a place that you really do enjoy, and every time you come you feel like you're wasting your money because you guys leave unhappy, well, then stop going on vacation, start saving that money, and use your vacation funds to just move here. Mm-hmm. Because that's really what it boils down to. There's so many people that want to move here, have been here and love this place, so that means they've spent all this money. There's been times that we've been in Connecticut and we've had such shopping addictions that we've spent money that we needed for something else on stuff that we didn't necessarily need. And here we've had the power to kind of put it down because we know the bigger picture is to be here long term. So our stuff has to come first, you know?
Yeah, and like, we don't want to put anybody down. Like, we want everybody to come here, have a great time, have a good experience. You know, do what you got to do. Just do your research and be determined and ready to work and be here.
Yeah, this is definitely a town for opportunists. I mean, even before Disney was around, Walt Disney was the biggest opportunist and entrepreneur. So I think people who have that mindset will thrive here. And even if like you do work that $10 an hour job, start a small business on the side. Make little crafts to sell on Etsy, sell t-shirts, you know, get a part-time job, do something different, do something that other people aren't doing, you know, put on an event when the pandemic's over. There are things that you can do that are positive, that don't have to be negative, that you can realize that if you put those extra hours into different things, you will have all the money you need. And we're just starting to learn that. This is not something that we've always had. We've always struggled with money, and in fact, with the same business we're doing here, we were losing money for years where we were from.
Yeah.
We just have a really good business partner. But here, it seems like we have an opportunity to make a lot of money because we're the type of people that go out and get it. We don't wait for it.
Yeah, we actually go out there, we do the work, we struggle, we stick together, you know, we get it done. Like, we know what we have to do and we know what we're working for.
I think that's because we know what we want, yeah.
Yeah, like, we know what we want. We wanted this house, now we have to keep it, and we want to keep it.
And you know what? It might even not pertain to moving to Orlando. It might pertain to just people who want to do something different with their life, like remodel their house or get new furniture or move to a better place in their state. This video should motivate you guys to do all that stuff.
Yeah, so we're just letting you guys know that it was about $10,000 to move here because I had a lot of people wanting me to do this video. How much did it cost? Tolls, motel, like, what did you do? How much was it? You know, what did you do?
Yeah, and you gotta know, like, if you move here and you're trying to go budget on your rent, you're gonna be in a really bad neighborhood.
Oh yeah, like, just to let you know, the good places around here start at what, $1,600 and up.
Maybe even more than that. Because some of those $1,600 rents, we didn't go look at the neighborhoods.
Yeah, those 1,600 places weren't good. So let's say 1,800. If you want to live in a good neighborhood and if you have kids that you want in a good school, you're looking at your rent is going to be starting at 1,800 and up.
Well, also what I learned about this place real estate wise is there are tons of big homes around here, so that's why the rent is a lot higher. It's probably going to be a bigger space than you need. You know, like in Connecticut, it's easy to find a 2-bedroom, but out here, a lot of the houses were 4-bedroom because in the early days of when these theme parks were opening and Disney was opening in the area we're in, which is Davenport, Florida, a lot of these were like vacation homes. So they were renting them out, hoping to get families or like people to come together from different parts of the country to stay together at these houses. So once it started expanding in more parks and Universal and they're pushing out more, well, then employees and people started renting and buying up these homes, and the vacation homes started spreading out to the outer skirts, you know, of the nicer parts of different cities. So there's just a lot of, like, you're not going to find a 2-bedroom house. And if you do, it's not going to be in a good neighborhood.
It's not. Like,
you're going to have to look for something a little bit bigger.
I couldn't even find a 3-bedroom house. Like, I was like, oh, let me see.
Yeah, that's why it's good.
It was always 4 bedrooms and up.
Take the extra space, because that might be your extra space to get creative and come up with some kind of business to help make the money. Like, we look at our office space as extra room, but that might, you know, working in here doing radio and videos and all this other kind of work that we do might end up helping to pay for the house itself, which would be worth it, you know. So that's what I look at, having the extra space and stuff like that.
And I do want to say, if you are looking for a place, just my opinion, don't buy on site. Do not buy on site. Do not look at videos and be like, ooh, I like this house. Because
don't fall in love with stuff, because everything down here is fast paced. There is no for sale by owners. It's all big companies that send out workers that work at these houses in rotation. And so it basically, there are a lot of scams also that go down here. So like people pay money over the internet and show up. That happened at our house. There was a squatting family here because they paid all their money to another company to move in here, and then the real company came in and said you can't live here, somebody else is coming in, and so it was a whole situation. So
yeah, and not only that,
and we kind of did take a little bit of a risk because we did give the deposit over, but we did a lot of research on the company itself.
Yeah, like don't go through eBay. A lot of eBay people
or Craigslist or Facebook. Don't do excuse me, Corona in Orlando. I just get dry mouth, but don't be like quick decision, don't make quick decision based on like being excited. Work with a realtor. That's what we did. We did work with a realtor who got us in with this company, so at least you can kind of fall back on them.
You feel more secure, but then again, we did do the buy on site thing where we just saw the house and we liked it, we got it.
And there is a little bit easier of an approval process down here, I feel like, because as opposed to some states, they do allow you to use your bank statements. So if you have more than one source of income already, like you get SSI with your job, or you get unemployment with SSI, or you get disability, or you get child support, or you just make money already doing other things. Maybe you sell custom belts or something, and that money that goes into your bank, you could print your statements out for like the last 6 months, and they could approve you for maybe a place that you didn't even know you could afford.
Yeah, that answers the questions that people ask me. Did you have a job before moving down? No, we did not have.
We didn't have a job, but I own a business. I do own a comedy production.
We do own a business. Yeah, we do, and
but
we use our pay. Yeah, our bank account statements.
Yeah. So
we didn't need
we didn't necessarily need
like
employment, and then we also had my partner help sign for us with the house too, which really helped us. So our business was why we moved down here, which was why it was easy for him to agree to do that, was because where we were at with everything going on, our business was dying very fast, and down here we had a chance of resurgence, so it was very worth it for us to come down here. Yeah,
but like I said again, be careful with the buy on sites, because when we did get this house, yes, we love it, but like this studio room, they must have had pets before we moved in, because it smells like freaking cat piss in here. The house wasn't cleaned at all. Like, the maintenance people didn't clean the house. They left like greasy shit in my daughter's bathtub.
The greasy light fixtures above the oven.
There was like
they left parts of the fridge out. They had damages to all parts of the house, bugs.
Our pool screenings was all broken.
I will say this though, even though the company was very big, as we made these appointments, the people did come. It was a little bit of a hassle, but we did get everything taken care of.
Little by little.
That's why we advise to come down. If when you do get the house, you might have to leave a deposit over the phone with the company that you use. If it's, just do your research, make sure they have a website and everything like that. I would come down before you move everything down to get the house situated. The last thing you're gonna want to do is move in and deal with moving your stuff in and have to deal with cleaning after you move your furniture in, or getting bugs out after doing that, and so you don't want to do that. You want to get everything done so that when you move down here, you're ready to just live.
Yeah, like when we moved down here, it was with nothing, and I spent literally the whole month cleaning the house.
And we're still not there. Half our boxes still aren't even unpacked. Yeah. We still need to get a couch and some other appliances that we don't have for washing and drying and stuff like that. But we're just taking it a little bit at a time because we spent so much to get down here. We're already behind in our business, and now we just need to get to work and do that hustling to get to where we want to be. Which is why we signed a 2-year lease, which gives us a few months to kickstart. Hopefully a year and a half or a year to 8 months of good living, and then we could hopefully have the option to buy or sign another lease or find another place. But I like it here.
Yeah, it's good. Like I said, they give us the option to buy.
I really like it. I like the size.
You have to pay for like the closing costs and stuff like that.
Yeah, and the price of the house goes up a little bit every year, but we're young. We're both 28 and 29 years old, so we definitely if we could get a house within the next 3 years and have a 30-year mortgage, we can have our houses paid off by the time we're in our young to mid 60s and serenity. We'll have something in her 30s to fall back on, and she can always stay here. There's that much room, and there's enough space with the bathroom and the bedrooms being on the other side of the house. We have room to grow our family with extra bedrooms. We have room to invite people over, like family that want to come visit. They don't have to pay for hotels. So you save a lot of money, and you save your family a lot of money, and it entices them to come because if you have that extra room, you know, we're down here and we have the extra room for them to come. Even though most of them say they'll just get a hotel, you have the option. I know Jessica's family.
My family was like, I'm staying with
Jessica's family will come with about 20 people in a van. But, you know, I wouldn't mind that. I mean, listen, it would have been different to live with them, I think, for like 20 years all together. And I feel like everybody would just resent each other. But I feel like if they came for a few weeks, it'd be really cool because they get to go home. I'm just kidding. But that doesn't, you're right, though. I mean, what I'm trying to say is it don't matter who it is. When it's your home, you want to be home. We've had comedians stay here for a few days. We've had family, friends. It's never worked out. Never. Not for a minute. You know, and it actually ends up hurting relationships with friends. Mm-hmm. So sometimes I like to just put them in a hotel, you know, but it is nice to have the option, you know, to be able to, I mean, it's not bad for a few days, you know.
Yeah.
But people might like it here so much they want to stay.
I know. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get our family to like it down here with us so they can get houses too.
Yeah, and then everybody can kind of enjoy a better life because it is a better life. I know it is.
I feel like I feel 10
You're
times better.
still going to have frustration, anxiety, stress, all the normal things of life is not going to go away. Your life does follow you down here, all the responsibilities. But like today, we had a really rough and stressful week. We had our kitten pass away. He had a hernia that came in nowhere. We could not afford $4,000 to get a surgery, so it was a really tough decision, and he was a part of our family, and we loved him very much. And on top of that, we had dealt with issues with my venue already. After 4 sellout shows, now we have to look for a new place because we're not from the South, and they treat people differently down here, and we don't want them treating our customers differently.
That's a whole nother video.
For any reason. But the point is that we face all these struggles, and then in Connecticut, where we might be in the house bottling it up, and then me and her eventually end up arguing about it, we finally just decided to take a drive to City walk around, have some dinner, spend some family time, and I think it cured all that stuff. So that's one reason I would move down here.
There's so much more to do.
There's so much to do. You can get your mind off things. It may not go away, but you can certainly take a break and kind of breathe, and that will help your decision making in life go by a little bit quicker. So that's all I'm going to say.
But that's all we got for you guys. We let you know how much we paid, how much we love it, our little mistakes, what we're going through. But at the end of the day, we do love it here, and we feel like our lives have improved here with the sun and everything. And it just feels good. We've been here for a month already, right?
About a month, yeah.
It's going on to, by the end of July, will be 2 months. So we're doing it.
We're deep.
We're deep in, and we like it. I love it.
I'm having a great time.
I love it here.
Doesn't feel like vacation, that's for sure.
Definitely. When people say you come down here and you're in vacation mode, this is like home.
But I think if you come in here with work mode, you're going to have a wonderful experience in your off time. It's going to feel amazing. It's going to feel like the best leisure you've ever had. Even just walking around and seeing lakes and beautiful water scenery and the beautiful structures at these places kind of motivates you, you know? So if you're a person that lives off motivation, this is a place for you.
Definitely, guys. But that's the end of our video today. As always, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to my page. We're trying to reach 1,000 followers, and with your help, we will get there.
And also, go and click that notification bell because Jessica forgets that every single time. And it is one of the most annoying things about these videos is that people subscribe and they don't click the notification bell. So how are you going to know when I'm going to be a special guest?
It still comes up. I don't click the notification bell on I'm subscribed to you. Follow him. He has a Vinny Beto page.
My page is a little bit different than this one. I do like to play funny characters on the internet and make a bunch of stuff up about Bam Margera. So come over to my YouTube and check that out.
I'll leave all his stuff down below if you guys want to
I have
check
47 subscribers. And if you follow me on TikTok, we'll put that below as well. I got 60,000 deep. So we're growing.
I'm not doing too
TikTok.
hot on any platform. Help me, you guys. No, I love you guys as always. Bye.
Bye.